and welcome to TLDR at Earshot, where we answer the questions everyone is asking and we make it crisp and fast. I am your host Garima, and with me is my colleague Dipavali. Hi everybody. Yet another fire tragedy has shaken the country. A massive blaze engulfed a commercial building in Lucknow's Aliganj area, a building that housed a coaching center, a pet shop and vet clinic. By the time the fire was doused, at least 15 people had lost their lives, and 12 of them were young students. Eyewitness accounts and videos that have emerged from the site of accident are even more horrific. Panic, smoke-filled corridors, desperate phone calls, and people jumping from floors in an attempt to save themselves, but falling on metal railings only to hurt themselves seriously. Sadly, this is not the first time India has witnessed such a disaster. Many listeners will remember the Surat Coaching Center fire of 2019, where 22 students died after a blaze trapped them inside a coaching facility. Several students jumped from the building in a desperate attempt to survive. And the very recent Delhi's Hauz Rani BNB fire, which claimed lives of 21 people, 8 of them from the same family. The flooding of a coaching center library in central Delhi's Old Rajendra Nagar, where 3 students drowned and died.
So, what exactly happened in Lucknow? Why do these incidents keep happening? Who is responsible? And what can be done so that another family does not receive the devastating phone call that their child never made it home? According to reports, the fire broke out in a commercial building in Aliganj that housed a coaching institute. The blaze spread rapidly, trapping people inside. Videos from the scene showed chaos as people attempted to escape, while firefighters and bystanders rushed to help. At least 15 people lost their lives. Authorities later began investigating whether safety norms had been violated and whether the building was operating illegally or beyond approved permissions. Now, contrary to what most people think, it's not the flames that cause the deaths in such cases. It's actually smoke inhalation. And that's because of poorly ventilated buildings, blocked exits, panic, overcrowding, and delayed evacuation. All of this becomes deadly, and that's heartbreaking. When a building fills with thick smoke, visibility drops within seconds, people cannot find staircases, they cannot locate the exits, panic spreads faster than the fire itself. And when there is only one escape route, the building becomes a trap.
Now here's the disturbing part. The Lucknow fire is not an isolated event. In May 2019, a coaching center operating in Surat's Takshila Arcade became the site of one of India's worst educational facility fires. The blaze reportedly started after an electric short circuit and spread rapidly. Students were trapped because escape routes were inadequate. 22 students died and many others were injured. Several victims jumped from upper floors because they saw no other way out. Investigations later revealed a familiar pattern. There were allegations of illegal construction. Questions were raised about the safety compliance. Authorities arrested people connected to the operation and construction of the premises. The frightening thing is that many of these problems that were identified in the Surat fire sound very familiar to the concerns that are being raised after the Lucknow fire tragedy.
So why do these incidents keep happening? And the answer is very uncomfortable because in many parts of India, safety is often treated as only paperwork rather than a real-life necessity. Think about how commercial spaces are frequently developed. A building receives approval for one purpose, then extra floors get added, storage areas become classrooms, terraces become coaching centers, basements become offices, the capacity increases, revenue increases, but fire exits, evacuation plans, electrical systems, and emergency access often remain unchanged. As long as business continues and inspections are passed, the risks remain invisible until the day, of course, that they aren't.
There is another factor that deserves attention. India's coaching industry has exploded over the past 2 decades. Millions of students preparing for engineering, medical, government, banking, and other competitive exams. In many cities, coaching centers occupy rented commercial buildings that were never originally designed to handle hundreds or thousands of students every year. The result? Packed classrooms, narrow staircases, temporary partitions, heavy electric loads from ACs and computers, limited ventilation, and sadly, in most cases, insufficient emergency exits. Each of these factors may seem manageable individually, but together they create a dangerous or rather fatal environment.
Now, who is responsible when something like this happens? The easy answer is to blame the building owner, and certainly owners have a responsibility to comply with safety norms, but the reality is much more complex. Responsibility exists at multiple levels. There are building owners, of course, coaching operators, municipal authorities, development authorities, fire departments, inspection agencies, even the local administration. All of them are responsible. If an unsafe structure operates for years, it raises a serious question that how did this continue functioning at all? Were inspections conducted properly? Were violations ignored? Were notices issued but never enforced? Now, after the Lucknow tragedy, authorities reportedly suspended officials, made arrests and launched inquiries into how the building continued operating. But many citizens ask the same question after every disaster: why do these actions happen after lives are lost, and why not before?
Exactly. Why not before? Why not before any untoward incident happens? Why not avert the tragedy that affects ordinary people? When a fire breaks out in a building operating illegally, the victims are not just statistics. They are humans, real people, teenagers, young adults, people who are family to someone. It is also about those parents who invested their savings in their kids' education to watch them succeed in life. Families who send their children to build a better future. The emotional impact of these tragedies lasts for years. A student surviving such an event may carry trauma for life. Parents may lose trust in institutions. Communities become fearful, and thousands of families begin questioning whether the places they send their children to study are truly safe. The damage extends far beyond the day of fire.
Now, I want to bring your attention to another point, which is the space optimization of urban spaces. India's urban spaces are becoming increasingly crowded, and to maximize every square foot, buildings are now packed with businesses, storage, offices, coaching centers, clinics, and retail outlets. Many modern interior designs focus on utility and space optimization. Hidden storage, partitions, compact layouts, and multifunctional spaces help people fit more activities into smaller buildings. But there is a huge danger in doing that. Efficiency cannot replace safety. Every additional partition, storage area, electrical connection, or blocked corridor can reduce evacuation capacity during an emergency. A building that feels efficient during normal times becomes a maze during a fire. And that's why fire safety experts repeatedly stress that escape routes must never be compromised in the name of space utilization.
So, what can actually be done? If at all, greed is put aside and human lives are valued, the solutions are very easy, to be honest. First, make fire safety audits mandatory and transparent. Not just once when a building opens, but regularly. And the results should be publicly available. Second, coaching centers, schools, and educational institutions should face stricter occupancy rules. If a building is designed for 200 people, it should not hold even 250, forget 500 people. Third, evacuation drills must become routine. Many students have never participated in a fire drill in their lives. During an emergency, people react based on practice. Without preparation, panic takes over. Fourth, penalties for violations must be severe enough to act as deterrents. Too often, fines become just another business expense and people ignore it. That has to change. And finally, enforcement must happen before the disaster occurs. A notice sitting in a file cabinet will not save lives. It will never save lives, but real action will.
In addition to all of that, I want to add another radical idea, which is why is there no bulldozer justice over here, Garima? Why do we only demolish buildings as a punishment for crimes? Why not demolish these obviously risky constructions? What's stopping the administration from doing that? Are they afraid of the multi-million-dollar coaching industry? Anyway, the biggest lesson from Lucknow and Surat coaching center fires, the Delhi bed and breakfast fire, Delhi coaching center flooding, all of this is simple. These are not unpredictable accidents at all. They are often the result of known risks that were blatantly ignored. The warning signs exist. The violations are often visible. The vulnerabilities are often documented, but action comes after tragedy. Until we shift from reacting to preventing, similar headlines will keep appearing. Only the name of the city, the building, the victims, and statistics will change. Fire safety is not a technical issue, it's a human issue because behind every casualty statistic is a student, a family, and a future that can never be replaced. So that was all on this episode of TLDR. Thank you for listening. We will see you in the next one. Till then, take care and goodbye.
You are listening to Earshot Podcasts. Find us on our website, earshot.in, on YouTube at Earshot Media, and download our app, Earshot, Indian Podcast app.